Hey there, hey there, hey there. It's your girl Morticia Sherman. Look, let me tell you, these things that's happening right now. I gotta tell you, things have been changing, things have been rearranging, things have been progressing, things have been going on. I am so excited about what we got going on here for Men's Mental Health Month. Okay. So, when I say that I really enjoy being a part of what's going on in the community when it comes to me and mental health month, um, let me break down this platform for you again. This podcast was created for you, the viewers. I'm just a participant. You are the host, and I'm just a guest on here. I am here to talk about things that nobody else wants to talk about. Even when they do want to talk about them, they skirt around them. I'm not skirting around anything. So you're going to hear some things tonight that I'm going to say. And you know me, I'm unapologetic. I just have to see it. I'm very unapologetic about what I have to say and what's going on and this and other, because I want you to be able to walk in your greatness. I want you to be able to know that when someone, how can I say this? When someone says something such as a cliche or whatnot, cliches are not, they're old statements that people would just say out of habit. Cliches are habits that people generally say that really, when they say it, they really don't know what they're really saying. They're just unapologetic about it. Like what happens behind the doors, closed doors, stays behind closed doors. And also, that statement, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, depends on what happens in Vegas. Okay. So, today is June the 4th, and we are talking about men mental health, jumping over the stigma of men and mental health. This is really, I love talking about men and mental health because and I'm going to say it, we as women really don't get it. We don't. We really don't get it. Honestly, we don't. And we see our fathers growing up, and we're like, oh, I want a man like my dad. I want a man that's going to dress up, take care of home, do all this. But back then, and to be honestly real with you, when we're talking about generations before us, our parents, when it came to the man and taking care of the home and providing for the home, that was really a lot. And he really had no real outlet except for to A, drink, B, cheat, C, have other kids outside because the other woman was treating him way different than the woman at home. Not to say I condoned it, but there were so many reasons why and so many different avenues men had to be able to digress when they came home from a long day's work, or gambling, doing different things, hanging out with the guys up under the tree and whistling at the ladies while they drink beer. That was a different generation because a lot of times they really had no outlets. And was people even listening to them? I said this when I was on the Save This Silly Morning show with my girl Erica B and Tazi Raquel. Back then, they were not going to tell the master, hey, I really feel depressed, sad, I have this going on. What they was going to do, tell them to go back out there in the field, work it out, go talk to your neighbor, don't tell me your problems, because I don't want to hear it. I just need you to know that I need this crop done, or I need this thing fixed, or I need this land tilled, they didn't have outlets. They didn't have nobody to talk to. And then to come home to a wife or a woman or whomever they were with to only demasculate them or emasculate them and didn't want to hear what was going on. I don't want you to talk to me. So now we as women want men to talk to us. And my event on July 19th, I'm going to give you a straight example. My event on July 19th, the Tonight is Tonight Symposium. If you have not gotten your tickets, they're on sale. Actually, I'm doing a promotion. Stay for the live, and you'll hear about the promotion that's going on about getting your tickets. If you're a vendor, you want to vend, we have vendor packages. We also have sponsorship packages for those who want to sponsor. We're gonna have food. I'm talking about shrimp and grits. I'm talking about chicken and waffles. I'm talking about breakfast, brunch food is what we're having. That Kool-Aid, that sweet Kool-Aid tea, and the lemonade and the water and all. We're gonna have all that, and we're just really gonna have a fun time talking about mental health awareness. We're also gonna have a comedian there, Big Skinny. That's my bro. I'm talking about just real, real. And I'm talking about we really gonna get real, real. And so much so till I told one of my closest friends, I told her, and I say this, and I'll tell any woman this: I don't want to hear you talk. I'm not having women on my panel. I may not. But my main thing is I'm gonna have men there. I have two men that are gonna be speaking about men and mental health. One, he already told me he's gonna be there, and that's Mr. White, Christopher White. He's gonna be there, and then I have another gentleman that's gonna be there that's gonna be talking about mental health. We as women, we get it as far as talking because we go and talk to our girlfriends, we go talk to our mom, we go talk to our sister, we go talk to our cousins, we go talk to all of that. But I don't, I've heard enough. I'm not anything against my sisters. Honestly, I really want the men to heal because we all sitting up there talking about where the good men at? Where the good men at? They're hurting. They're hurting. And they need somebody to talk to. And why would a hurt person come and talk to you? You already hurting, and then you're gonna make them hurt even more so. I want our brothers to be healed. I want our black and brown culture to be healed. I need to see their face in the place. We have veterans. We have. I'm this when I say this event is for Lottie Dottie and everybody, it is for Lottie Dottie and everybody. LGBTQ plus, veterans, all of that. I love my sisters, but I need to hear from the man because men are suffering more so in silence than we as women are. Do you know the suicidal rate for men is higher than women when it comes to the black and brown culture? Do you not understand depression hits them harder than it does us, especially when we're asking them to provide for us, especially when we're asking them to do things that they may have not been taught before. They may have had that absent father situation where the dad was not there and the mom was there more than anything. So how did he learn how to provide? How did he learn how to be sensitive when it's time to be sensitive and hard when it's time to be hard? We want men to jump out there and be superheroes. And I'm going to say it, when we as women are kryptonite. Let's be real. Let's be straight up and real. Okay. You want a man to be healed. You want him to come to you and talk to you about things that's bothering him. You want him to do all these things and whatnot. But what do you have to offer him to be able to be vulnerable like that? Being vulnerable takes a lot. Being vulnerable, you got to be able to be in a good space for somebody to be vulnerable with you and not being able to go and take that information and go gossip about it to your girlfriends who really are not your girlfriends because they sitting up there talking. My circle is small. I believe in my circle, am I the only one that's not married? Maybe. But I've been divorced. But these women are some strong women. I think I have probably a couple single friends, but pretty much everybody else, I've been married before and I understand the marriage language. But again, how can we as a community, how can we as a black and brown community best support our men when it comes to mental health? How can we best support them knowing that, hey, you know, they have times when they're down. They have times when they're sad. They have times when they have to look at life and be like, hey, I need to recalibrate this thing. I need to really look at how am I responding to this situation when it comes to, the woman that I'm with, the woman that I plan to be with for the rest of my dear life. I honestly, if we cannot support and be there for the man that we say that we want to be a part of and support, come on now. Let's get real. Let's get real. Let's talk about some serious subjects when it comes to men and mental health. Okay? I love when I love it when I can sit in a room of guys who are not so puffy and stuffed up till they can really share things that they've grown through. And if you saw previously before, I did a post on social media where I said, I need men therapists to step up. I need some to contact me. I need some to talk to me because I come across individuals that need that. Yeah, they want to know the female aspect when it comes to certain things of understanding their wife. And understand me, I'm not your wife, and her behavior may not be my behavior, and my behavior may not be her behavior. But I have grown through some stuff as being a wife and being divorced that I know that I cannot take inside of another relationship. I know that there are things that may have triggered me that I know that the person after him is not him. You know, I have to deprogram myself and unlearn those behaviors, but also be willing to express and share things that I need to express and share for my person to know that, hey, it's not towards you. It's just those are things that triggered me that I saw in a man that I just need to express to you. Not to say that you're doing it intentionally, but I need you to know that this is where I am and this was hurts and this is, this is a no-no for me, until I can heal from that situation. So when it comes to men and mental health, I believe we as a culture of individuals need to know that men want somewhere to go. They want to be able to share. And it's not always with a homeboy. It's not always with um talking to um the woman. How how can we help with the vulnerability to form some form of strength when it comes to a man in mental health? One thing we can do is stop thinking he's your girlfriend, because he's not. Stop trying to have girlfriend conversation with your man, because he's not a girl, and he can understand what, oh, when it comes to a woman, those type of things. And I remember saying this thing. Hey, Jessica, thank you for joining. Those who are joining, thank you. I appreciate you for being here. It's the month of June. I started in October. I'm loving this platform where I can sit down and have open, candid conversation, transparency with individuals that are on here. Like I said, the reason why this podcast was created is for us to have mental health open conversation and mental health talk and mental health therapy. You get me for 1 whole hour. I'm open for questions. I'm open for topics that you may have heard that you want to talk about. Come talk to your girl. Tish on the couch. That's where the couch is here. The couch is open for you to sit down and talk. So let's get back to the men and mental health. How can we form a strengthened community for our men, the black and brown culture, to be vulnerable? Yeah, they watch sports, they watch news, they read books, they do all of these things to help build themselves up. But why, as a community, we cannot form a platform for them to be able to speak and speak openly. Not to say that they're not already out there, because I met some today. I met some guys today that are out there, they're doing barbershop talk where they're sitting down and the guys can sit down and be vulnerable. But what if your man wants to be vulnerable with you, but don't know how to because you don't know the language to be able to speak to him appropriately? Okay. We are queens. We are queens. Did a queen talk to a king in such a manner to is degrading him or talking to him on a level of making him feel like he's not worth the kingdom? I refuse. I will not. I won't talk to mine the way the world talks to these men out here. That's not it. I'm all about building kingdom. Hey, brother. So you said your wife know the month of May is hard for me. Yeah, being my mom's birthday and Mother's Day. Hey, I like that. Being transparent and honest. Yeah. You know, I talked about this, brother, the other day, Arlie, when I said men were taught not to cry. You gotta be strong. You gotta be bold. You got your woman can't see you cry. A woman can't do this here because if she do, she gonna think you a punk. She gonna think you a sissy. No, that is not true. Because honestly, I'm gonna tell you the real truth about it. The generation before us, our parents, their parents, the parents before them, those that were out there that were slaves and sharecroppers, they cried. We didn't see it. They found a space to go sit down and cry. Maybe when the kids were laid down in the bed at night. Maybe when the woman was sitting up there asleep at night. He went and found a place. Because he couldn't hold all that in. One thing I can say that I do like, pressure does bust pipes. But you want the pipe to burst the right way. You don't want the pipe to burst the wrong way where it becomes anger. When we talk about, and I will talk about domestic abuse, I'm going to talk about that from a man aspect and a woman's aspect. And I get shunned on when I talk about this, and I'm going to say it because I'm very unapologetic about what I say. We get into relationships not knowing the past of that person. Not to say that it was right for that man to fight you. But do you know that's a behavior that he learned? Do you know that's an outlet that he learned to sit there and fight a woman? Because may have been the mom abused him, so he couldn't fight back. Maybe the grandmother abused him, a woman abused him, and he couldn't fight back. Or maybe the dad abused him and he couldn't fight back. So his next outlet was to fight the person that was next and closest to him because he felt like that was love. I know I'm hitting hard and I'm going to hit hard. You didn't know what that person grew through or that childhood, and not everybody. I met a gentleman today that had no kind of childhood trauma. None. So stop saying everybody experienced childhood trauma. Some people had great childhoods. Some people had great aunts and uncles that helped tailor them to be the people that they are, good people. And some people who went through childhood trauma also end up still being good people because they learned that I don't want to hurt somebody because I was hurt. I'm one. I will say it till the day that my last breath. I refuse to hurt somebody because I was hurt. Because it wasn't the person fault who hurt me, but I'm not condoning the fact that they did. It's just a learned behavior. We learn everything from our environment, nature versus nurture. And I'm thankful that my brother on here, Arnie, thank you for saying that you cry when you still miss your mom. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. I have a going to be 9-year-old grandson, and we shape him. Express your feelings. And I don't care if a little boy says, "Oh, you cried." Oh, yeah, yeah. Because I have feelings. I have feelings, and I don't get it how people sit up here and I don't have feelings and I don't have emotions. Well, did God actually create you? Because the Creator created us all with feelings and emotions. You just decide to shut it out. You just decide that you don't want to deal with certain things at a certain time. But if you didn't have feelings and emotions, so let me tell you. Sometimes when I be talking, sometimes my body be going in character mode. So if you don't have no feelings and emotions, let me push you down and see if you're gonna fall and hurt yourself. And you're gonna want to fight me if I do that. So you mean to tell me you ain't got no feelings or emotions? Hey Consuela, thank you for joining. Guys, our men are at hey Jay, our men are at a capacity right now to where the pressure, when I say pressure bust pipes, I need that pipe to burst in the right way and not the wrong way. We have to be able to be a community that support our black and brown men. We have to be a community that jumps out there and want to be able to say, hey, I know that I'm not your woman. I know that I'm not, but I'm your sister. And I'm here to support. I'm getting ready to be a part of this event on June 14th. And I had an opportunity to meet this young man. Great young man. And it's called Make a Shot Instead of Taking a Shot. That is going to be on June 14th in Acres Home on West Montgomery. You want to see your girl, non-apologetic therapist, and you never seen me before, besides live or, in other places, I'm going to be here. Come show your support. This is built for the community. It's going to be at the Acres Home Multi-Purpose Center. You get a chance to meet different people and see men, not when I say I go cartoon, I do. Women, you're not coming out there to meet no man to meet no man. No, you coming out there to support the man. And if it's a Ruth episode where Boaz is out there, which I say I don't want no Boaz because Boaz died. I don't want Boaz, nor do I want Bozo. And I don't want Ishmael. Give me an Isaac. I don't even want David. David eyes wandered. So, okay, but the thing of it is being out there to be able to support our black and brown culture. Our young men are committing suicide. They're committing crimes. They just really, if we really want to grab them by the collar and say, I care for you, I love you unconditionally, I am here to support you, this is the time to do it. Summer programs are going on where young men are being a part of these summer programs. We need to, as a community, when I say as a community, I'm talking about the community that was just like, what was that? The Tulsa community. I'm talking about the community that was like the DC community where we built each other. We are, as the black and brown community, we are the strongest community. We are the strongest culture. But our mind has, I'm going to say it like Brown said it on the Tyler Perry movie. We've been manipulative. We have been, we have been manipulative for years about who we are, whose we are, and how much we contribute to this world. I remember as a little girl, my dad, there's this building in Northline of 45. My dad was a part of that community that built that building. And he used to tell me as a little girl, I helped them build that building. Do you not know how many of our black men, and I have all respect for our brown culture, our Hispanic culture, but honestly, let's be real. Let's be truly, truly transparent and real. When slaves came over, slaves built a lot of the stuff that's going on in America. We didn't get recognized for it. There was not a lot of recognition because why would I tell you that Kuta or James or whoever helped me build that building? That building belongs to me. I have this conversation every week with my with I love my seasonal citizens. I love talking to the seasonal citizens, especially the men. When it comes to a man that's 55 plus, that have been through some stuff, that have grew through some stuff, that knows some stuff, that can sit down and tell your unapologetic therapist what it is and what it ain't, and how he contributed and how he didn't, and the mistakes that he made and the mistakes that he grew through. And it's so great that I could sit there and have that conversation. So when I have those conversations about, mental health, it's like, do you really believe that it's hereditary? Some cases, yeah. If your parents were on drugs, stuff like that. In some cases, it can be hereditary. Sometimes things can pass down and skip a generation and go to the next generation. It's this, that, and the other. But when it comes to mental health, if it's taken care of, and when I say pharmaceutical companies, we as a Black culture, and they made this statement so irrelevant, so relevant to me. We as a Black culture, if we really think about it, we're the main ones they'll say all the sickness and disease come from, because they say that they test our Black men. They test, hey, chill. They test the blood of the Black men, and that's how they're able to come up with all these things. The Black men hold this, the Black men hold that, the Black men started this. Remember, for years they kept saying that Black men came from monkeys. Really? Did we really? And if we did, we're very intelligent, because orangutans and baboons are very intelligent. Very intelligent. I'm talking about extremely intelligent. And if they could talk, they would. But when it comes to our Black men, they are the main ones that's targeted the most. We think it's Black women, but it's our Black men. Why? Because the power is in their blood. The power is in their strength. The power is in them being mentally wealthy. And I do have that shirt. My mental health is my wealth. But when it comes to a Black man being on top of his, that's 10 times ammunition when it comes to America. When you find a Black man that's in it, that's intelligent, I mean, he's on top of his, that right there, what they would say, that's what they would always say, that's actually it's a problem. When a Black man is on top of his, when a Black man knows who he is, whose he is, and who he belongs to, that right there, that's a problem when it comes to America. So why not put him in that position? Why not put him in that role? Why not? But you want to make sure before you put him in that position and put him in that role, that you know that you're building him up, that you're building him strong, and not build him up the way the world built him up by saying, oh, if you're not a provider, you're not good enough. If you're not this, then you're not good enough. If you're not that, then you're not good enough. We even had the conversation in this group of men that I was talking to, where we were talking about, how in the statement came up about marrying outside of the race, and the difference in submission between other cultures and the Black woman. We're going to get all into that. I even put on my Facebook page. If you want to join in and have this conversation with me, but you got to be truly unapologetic when you join in on this platform. I want you to be truly unapologetic. Don't cut no corners, because we're gonna talk about it. This is conversation about building our men in the Black and brown community. June is men mental health awareness month. And I'm talking about jumping over the stigma. We got to be able to jump over this stigma that they're talking about our Black men, recognizing mental health struggles without shame, encouraging open dialogue. Come on, we got to have open dialogue with our family, friends, and communities. When it comes to our Black men, when it comes to the Black men in our culture, stop shutting them down. Stop doing that. Stop making them feel like that they're not worthy of unconditional love. They One thing I learned after being divorced, and I had to learn this because I had to learn it for myself. And I'll tell any sister, anybody, anywhere that I go, whenever I'm doing work in the community, I don't want to fight outside my house and then have to turn around and come inside and fight. That goes for our men. They don't want to have to fight outside with the world. They have to every time they wake up, fighting outside, and then have to come home and have to fight with the woman in the house, with the children, with everything else. When you're married, and I learned this, when you're married, you become a help mate. Not just married, okay, not just married, but when you're with somebody and you're married to that person and y'all join together, you become a helpmate. You become helpers of each other. It becomes a team effort and not an individual effort. If your spouse, may it be male or female, if you notice that they need somebody else to talk to outside of you, it's okay to say, hey, you know, I know you may get upset if I tell you this, but let's go talk to a therapist. I require, if a couple comes to me and they're not married, I do couples therapy. I do. And I've had a couple of couples that was like, no, we're not going to do this. And I always tell them this up front. This is my disclaimer. I can't tell you yes or no. I can't tell you leave her, leave him. I'm not going to do that. You already know exactly what you want to do in this relationship. You just coming to me to see if I'm going to solidify. I'm not going to tell you to leave that person because I didn't tell you to be with that person. I know how that goes. I was married to somebody I know that I was not supposed to be married to. And I went through pure hell. I really did. But I don't look like what I've been through. Thank God for that. But at the end of it all, how are we really building our Black men in the community? How are we building our young boys? Because eventually they're going to be older Black men. I'm going to tell you how I'm building my grandson. We talk. I let him freely express himself. When he doesn't like something, he expresses it. And what we do is, as his nana, half therapist, we do emotion regulation. We find out where that emotion belongs and how can we process it in the right way so we won't have to grow through that again. We do those things. I was just talking about how even as women in the education field, that's a first. In actuality, I would call you a first responder when it comes to Black men in education. Why are you not suggesting more things for him to learn, to be a better man, to be a better young man? Actually, as a matter of fact, to be a better steward of himself. We have to be able to give them positive reinforcement. So when it comes to a negative situation, they can regulate their emotions a lot better. Catch them while they're young. That was one of my main things about becoming a therapist. I want to catch them while they're young. I started at the age of 13, but I will go lower than that when it comes to seeing a child. Because I want to catch you while you're young, especially a black man. I want to catch you while you're young. Because when I can pour the positive inside of you and then connect you with an even more positive male role model, do you know how much I have changed your trajectory of your life? Yeah, 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 chill. Yeah, parents do need to check on kids, and they haven't been. But here's the thing to that: when you have a household where both mom and dad are working, and they're working and they're going at the same time, and my kids alone had to check me on this. Actually, my oldest son, my oldest son checked me on this a couple of weeks ago. Well, yeah, about a couple of weeks ago. And he made this statement, and he's a veteran. If you know me, I posted him on Memorial Day, and he's an Army veteran. And he sat up there and he told me, I couldn't help but to accept it because that's how I taught my kids. I really did. I was a teen mom. So my kids and I grew up together. I made sure that we grew up together. We did everything together. Park. They were. I didn't treat them like they were my siblings, but I gave them that aspect of life to be free, to express themselves and tell exactly how they're feeling. And that's why we're so close. Except for you always had that one. But he told me he'll call me if he needs me, if he needs me. But other than that, he said he's doing good. I taught him well. But my oldest son, who's a veteran, made this one statement. And he said, Mom, he said, growing up as a kid, you and dad worked. So we pretty much had to learn how to adapt in life, but we asked you questions to help us better understand certain things. I was mom was sort of absent, and I'm gonna be honest, and I have to be because I was going to church, went to work, went to school, took care of my kids. If they played sports, I was there. If they did any type of activities, I was always there at their activities. I was going to make sure that they was there. For those of you who know me personally, know that I have a child who dealt with a heart condition. He had tachycardia. And I learned that when he was in the third or fourth grade. And that was a shock to me. That's when I really had to learn that I had to be more present for my children. But when he made that statement, and you were so right, Chill, parents do need to check on their children. Because when I started checking more on my children, I started learning that my son, my oldest son, really all of us, me and my children, we're huggers. So he was the type that he would hug and give people great expression and talk to them, have a conversation with them. And they just thought he was just the greatest gentleman in school. Till guys in school were getting mad with him. He had this one guy that was so after him because of the way he was and talking to young ladies and being nice to them because that's how he was raised. Hey, how you doing? Give him a hug and going on. But this young man was so upset with my son. And I really had to go up to that school. And I was the type of mama, my kids knew. I was the type of mama, I'd fight a kid behind my kid. That was me then. I would fight a kid behind my kid. But then I was like, nah, I'm not into the violent thing at the time. But that's how I felt about my children. So we do need to check on our children. And not just that, Chill, we need to check on our children's friends. If our kids have friends, close friends, associates, because I have to express that, they have close associates that they're growing up with that can someday be long-term friends, check on them as well. Because we don't know exactly what's going on in that household. We don't have to be in that household, but giving them a positive outlook on life can also change the trajectory for them too. If one thing I can say about my kids, I love the community that they built. My daughters, their friends are like my daughters. My sons, Their friends are like my sons. They call me mom. I'm going to check on them. I'm going to see how they're doing. I did that when they were growing up because a lot of times kids don't have that. They don't have that extra support. So they're all alone, especially. And I have to say this about our black men, when they don't have that father in the home, when they don't have that grandfather that can talk to them, when they don't have that uncle that can come in, and I'm not talking about the I'm not talking about the uncle your mama created. I'm talking about maybe the daddy brother or the mama brother, that uncle or the great uncle. You know, in some cases, yeah, the uncle the mama created can be a positive role model, but stop calling this man uncle. Just, I don't introduce nobody to my kids until I'm serious. But in that case, let's be more proactive and not not pessimistic when it comes to our black men. Let's be more proactive and not be pessimistic when it comes to them wanting to be whole and healed. Like I said, I'm going to be a part of a different thing. This right here, June 9th through the 30th. If you know of any kid from the age of 9 to 17, I believe they can still register. I'm talking about mental health on Fridays. Topics of mental health, we're going to be doing all kind of interactive activities. I want them to be able to be free to express themselves and not build up pipes, built up pressure because they don't know how to emotionally regulate what they're experiencing at home, at school, on the job, on the basketball court, on the football field, on the soccer field, if they're playing sports, if they're honor society students, if they're all, I really am going to be there helping these kids. Yeah, so yeah, I like that. A supportive village is very important. It is. It is. And I made that statement last week. It takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a community to raise a village. We have to be community. We have to be able to be community in order for the village to grow. And the community is a whole conglomerate that puts the arm around the village, and the village puts the arm around the children, arm around the family. So for the Tonight is Tonight symposium that I'm doing in July, this weekend, I'm giving a $10 discount on those who register for general admission as well as VIP. I'll put the link on my social media page. You'll be able to find that information on there. Choose whichever one you want. It's $10 off. If you know of a church or a community that wants to buy a table, I'm giving $50 off on the general admission for a table. A table seats 8. VIP sits 8. I'm doing $50 off, and that's this weekend. And the reason why I'm doing it this weekend is because I'm going to see my dad. And this is a touchy thing for me. I'm going to see my dad, and my dad, like I said, as a little girl, I watched my dad. And I saw my dad, and I used to always say I wanted a man like my dad, but then I had to had to check myself and be like, no, I want the man that God has for me, and that's meant for me. One that can balance me, because yeah, I am a Libra, that can balance me, and I don't be off scale and off kilter all the time. And I had to learn my words manifest the things that happens in my life. So you have to be mindful of how we manifest words about men, our black men, our brown men. How do we speak life into them? How do we speak life and building them up? How do we speak life and building and giving them support? Because they are, honestly, black men are a village and we are the community. How do we wrap our arms around them? How do we give them the ammunition to get up and fight back without feeling like they're fighting for their lives? How do we give them that support to know that you're a lot stronger than what you think, but I still want you to be able to be vulnerable when the time is needed? So, this mental health symposium is doing just that. I love my women, I support my women, but I have to have men talking at this event. Like I said, I may have two women at most, but I'm going to have men that are talking at this event because we keep silencing our black men. We keep silencing. Yeah, men do need to be uplifting more. Because if we want them to be in, oh man, I have to show this. I have to show this chill. Men do need to be uplifted more. It's a generation upon generation, generational curse patterns, generational behaviors. I target that. When a man has been taught to do things that are so wrong when he tries to do right, he's shunned. He's like, oh, you ain't no man since you sit up there. Well, what do you want me to do? And when I say this, and I'm gonna say it unapologetically, you want a man that don't want to fight you, but then you want this man to fight you to show you that he love you. Do you not know that men are out here being domestically abused as well? Do you not know that men are out here being beat up and shunned and ostracized and all this other stuff by women? And what do they do when they do that? They go and find something or someone that's going to cater to that demasculation of making him feel like he's better than, when we as women, as strong women, can show them that they deserve unconditional love. And it doesn't have to be a woman on social media that's showing her body that's going to charge him for every time he want to touch her. Really? Are we serious? Men have been told to be silent. It's not a norm. We're breaking that norm. Come on, Teddy. We're going to break that norm. Men will not be silenced here. You can come on my platform. We're going to be unapologetic. We're going to have some conversations. And we need to have those conversations because men are suffering in silence. They are. Military. Do you not know how many black men went inside of the army? Because that's their way of saying, hey, I'm strong. I was told I need to be strong. I need to be powerful. No, sweetheart. I need to hug you and love you unconditionally. Ooh. I even say it for my boys. I'm not that type of mama. I'm not. Actually, I've been trying to give away my 35-year-old veteran. But I'm praying for the right woman for him. Same as my son with my kids. I'm already praying because I'm not that type of mama where I'm going to gatekeep my son. I will protect him, but I'm not going to sit up there and try and run his life on whoever he's with. But I want to make sure that he's covered and ask God to give him the discernment for the right woman. That's for his life. That's going to be his helpmate. I don't get in my kids' business per se unless they invite me in. But other than that, my boys, I'm not that type. I'm protective, but I'm not that type of mom. I'm not a momager. I'm not a hubberer. Because I believe I prayed over them. I prayed for them. Actually, before I even had my children, I prayed to have them exactly where I have them. I have boy, girl, boy, girl. I wanted my boys to be older than their sisters, and they are. But at the end of the day, no, I will not. I don't speak to my kings like that. I don't speak to my kings like that. I did. I spoke to a juster. because he wasn't a king, but I had to learn to build him up also. So chill, Teddy. Let me tell you something. Yeah, it's sad to watch because we are not in our rightful position, a leader. But what is leadership, Teddy? I have to ask. When it comes to leadership, when it comes to a man, what is true leadership? Is leadership, and we get asked that question, is leadership to the point where you feel like you're so masculine that a woman has to bow down? A woman is going to submit to the right leader. We will. A woman is going to submit to the right leader. A woman is going to submit to the right king who's walking in his kingship. And it doesn't have to be that he's this provider. Ooh, that rubs me when we have women out here. Oh, he needs to be six figure. He needs to have all this. He needs to have this. He needs to have that. Relationships and partnerships are built. I said it and I meant that. I'm not, we could be six figure together. My figures and your figures can make six figures. I don't care if you drove the trash truck and you treated me like the queen that I am. I'm going to treat you like the king that you are. And we're going to make them 7 and 8 figures because we're going to learn how to build together. I'm not for that six figure stuff. I've never been the type that wants a man to buy me lavish stuff when I know that I can buy it myself. If he did it, that's fine. I've had that done before. Take me to different places, that's fine. I've had that before. But I'm all about building my king. Because if I build my king, I'm building my kingdom as a queen. So when it comes to my black and brown men, I'm talking about building kingdom mentality, building kingdom wealth, mental wealth, to where when he is standing in his right position and his mental health is wealthy, there's nothing we can't do together. There's no places we can't walk in a room. That's what you call a true power couple. When you and your king, when the king and the queen are both mentally healthy and wealthy, that's a power couple right there. Because I'm going to tell you what, when it comes to something like that, they see the vision, they mind map it, they making it plain, and they're unapologetic about it. Because you want to know why? Because they know who they are and whose they are. So all this, social media, all this women and men, and I want this high power person and this, that, and the other. You can't take that with you when you leave. And what if a storm came through and tore your building down? How did you build that foundation? Did you build it on rocks, sand? Did you build it on? When I talk to my couples, I always ask them, how did you build this foundation? Was it built on sand? Was it on lies, truth? There's a difference between stones. There's a difference between a brick because it's already shaped. There's a difference between a rock and there's a difference between a stone. There's differences in that. Yep, that's that's right too. I like that, Teddy. You and your queen, yeah, y'all on a mission of. Let me tell you, when you talk about building an empire, that's generational wealth. When you and your queen be on a mission to build a, yeah, and that empire deals with your mental health being wealthy, that's generational wealth. Because I'm going to tell you why it's generational wealth. Because you're passing along a positive mindset to your children. Your children, you're supposed to be able to pass that along to at least 4 generations. Children, children's children. That's biblically written. Actually, it really don't even have to be biblically written. Because a man is supposed to leave an inheritance for his children. Children's children. But when you have a queen, and that queen is giving you that positive kingdomship, that's generational wealth. So again, I say this all the time. There's two things that I don't fight with: life coaches and social media. I'm going to tell you the truth. Life coaches, I love you, but stop trying to take people out of a rabbit hole if you're not licensed to do so. There's a difference between a license and a certificate. License, you got to be licensed with the state of Texas and you can be sued. So certification, you're just giving somebody your experience of your life and giving them that. But it's best to have both. If you're a life coach, partner up with a therapist, partner up with an LMSW. Let us build this kingdom together and give people the right mindset. Social media, it is what it ain't. I'm just being honest. It is what it ain't. Because a lot of times we look at relationships and, well, I want to be in that relationship. That's a perfect relationship. You don't know all the heck that person has been through to get what they done got. And you don't know the heck that they're going through in that household, especially if they're not mentally wealthy. You don't know. You don't. Run your race. Walk your walk. Talk your talk. Be with the king or the queen that you need to be with to build an empire, like Teddy said. We all can eat. And that's why I've been on this thing about gatekeeping. Stop gatekeeping. We got to stop gatekeeping. We got to make mental health the normal conversation. And that's going to break a whole lot of generational patterns, a whole lot of stigma, stereotypes. That's going to break all of that up. You want to break up some, when they say flowers do come out of concrete. It does. But we need to be the right flowers that come out of that concrete. Let's break up some things up under that concrete that's been laid on top of us. Let's break it up together as a community. Let's break that up together and be that community that wraps our arms around that village. And that village is our Black men. And that's the word. When you have a strong Black man, you have a strong Black man, that's a threat. That's the word that I was looking for. When you have a Black man that's walking with a powerful queen that knows how to speak life into him, that knows how to speak his language, that knows how to speak to his mental, that's powerful. That's a threat. I'm a threat. I'm going to say it. I'm a threat. I'm going to speak. I speak life all the time. My boys, my grandson, my boo. I speak life. Because you want to know why? When you speak life, things grow. When you speak death, it fades. It dies. And I'm not for them dying. Not them Black men. Any Black men that come into my life, may I meet you on the corner. I'm going to speak life into you. I'm not going to speak death into you. You've already been through enough death dealing with this world, society, what's going on out here in the economy, trying to find a job, trying to do all that. Like I said, boo, I don't care if you're working for the trash man. You bring a paycheck, we're going to grow that thing. We're going to build. And we're going to build generational wealth for your children, my children, our grandchildren, because that's how it is. I'm going to speak life into my Black men. And I pray for them every day. No premature deaths. Why? Because they have everything we need inside of them. But society has caused them to be so silent. And what do we do as women in the community? We help with that silence. What do we do in the community? We talk to them the same way, like they used to say back in the days, the man. No culture, no race has as much power in them like the Black culture. Look at what we did, Black Wall Street. Look at what we did, peanut former, electricity, uh, all the things that we've created, things that were stolen from us because we didn't have, and I'm gonna say it, things that were stolen from us because we didn't have the funds to fund the idea. So we told the idea to somebody else, and that somebody else decided to create it because they had the funds. We are a threat. And the other culture, our brown culture, is a threat as well. When something is a threat, you treat it like it is. And I am not treating my Black men like they're a threat. No, we can't keep a man down. I refuse. So join me again next Wednesday. I am on this thing for our men. If you did not get a ticket again, we're on Eventbrite. I'm going to be running a special this weekend. Like I said, I'm doing it because my dad, the first man that I met and had a crush on, which was my dad. But my grandfather, I love both of my grandfathers, but my grandfather, let me tell you, if ever I told you a story about Frank Jefferson Smith Sr., that one right there, my family knows that one. That one right there taught me the Bible, and I understood about men because I saw my grandmother treat my grandfather like the king he was. Also, we partner up with Critical, and we are being a part of the food and clothing drive. That is the same day that we're hosting our event. So we're giving it ahead of time. If you can make our symposium and you know some kids and families that want games, it's close to school. Free haircuts are going to be done. Girls who are going to school may need braids. Be a part of it. We are a part of it. There are other individuals that are part of this organization. We want our young men to start the school off the right way. Get them that haircut. Also, for the Tonight is the Night Mental Health Symposium, we have a surprise that's going on. I'm gathering more details about that, but be on the lookout. I will be explaining more about what we're doing in that. Also, June 4th, me come into place. I'm going to be there. Make a shot instead of taking a shot. They're playing basketball. They're going to be giveaways, portable basketball goals, meals for family, children, free throws, skills competition. It's going to be in Acres Home. I will be there, of course, because I'm a part of this program that's going on, WIPO, Youth Development. I'm a part of this. I'm excited because I want to be able to touch the Black and brown community and speak life into our Black men as well as our Black women. Then also, if you know someone in this area, Highland Park, DeSoto Park is what they call it, I will be teaching every Friday starting June the 9th through July 30th. I will be there imparting about mental health and mental health awareness to our Black and brown community at this event. I will be posting these on my social media page. Education for 2 hours, basketball for another 2 hours. So I'll be teaching from, I think, 9:30 to 11:30 about mental health every Friday. You can catch me there. Of course, that's my lunchtime. I'll be in the community doing that. It's your girl. Come join me. Come sup with me. Let me speak life into you. As I speak now, I'm speaking life into you as the men and women in our culture. You are so needed. You are so needed. You are so important. You are so important to the village and the community. We say that we want to see our people do better. Show it in your actions and stop talking. Show it in your actions. Show it in your actions. If you can be at the events, donate. $5, $1. I'm going to have a donation button on my social media page. I don't care if it's $1, $2, 50 cents. Everything helps. Everything supports. Stop gatekeeping stuff. If you're having an event that's going on and I can be a part of it to show my face, let me know. If I'm in Houston, I don't mind. My presence is important. My presence is tangible, true. But a lot of times when we give back our time and our talents, God will give us back the finances that we need to cover what is needed. I don't do stuff for people expecting for them to do something back for me, because I already know whatever I do for somebody, I know God is going to take care of me. So I can take care of that person again. So it goes to, when you know better, you do better and you respond better. It's your girl, Martisha Sherman, the unapologetic therapist. I cannot wait for next week. I cannot wait to tell you about the adventure with my dad. But be on the lookout for the discounts that I'm giving for the mental health symposium. The Tonight is Tonight mental health symposium. You can get them, the tickets, get the tables and everything. July 19th. It's going down. I'm gonna have DJ Groove. Let me tell you, this young man did some parties of mine, and y'all know I like to dance. I love to dance. I do. So you may hear the boots on the ground song when I'm fans at. I've been hearing that a lot. But just know, I'm speaking life to my Black men. Black and brown culture, it's time for us to stand up and arrive. I have a shirt that says, when you come for me, I will arrive. I need you to arrive. And I need you to arrive the right way. So I'll see you next Wednesday. Be on the lookout. I love you to life. It ain't nothing you can do about it.